Good morning. Okay, we're live, and we have a special guest today. It's Melody Wilson coming to us from Edmonton.
Hi.
We're
also live on my YouTube channel too. So for anyone watching, this is a Calgary team that I'm also associated with. So now everyone always watches my YouTube channel, Edmonton versus Calgary. Now you can actually see the stats from both sides.
There it is. Talk about what's happening.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Just quick introductions. Dan Stante here, real broker in Calgary, along with the rest of my team here, Mike Stante and Sano Stante, obviously related family team here. So, and Melody Wilson, who's with Real Broker in Edmonton, and one of the founding members in Edmonton. So it's great to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat stats.
We'll make it exciting. We'll find a way.
Yeah. So, Melody, I guess on our channel, we talk every couple of weeks about what's happening in Calgary. It's been a fairly consistent story. And so maybe we'll move this over to you to just kind of tell us, what's happening with pricing, what's happening with inventory. Is it a buyer's or seller's market in Edmonton? And take it away.
Okay, so I would love to hear specific stats on you guys, because I know that I've heard that in Calgary, it's been busy, busy, busy. You guys haven't slowed down. Last May, 2022, our market halted. It was super hot, we've never seen it before. And then it halted and it just got really quiet, and it got super quiet and kept being quiet all until this whole year. So we usually follow you guys. We're usually a couple months behind your activity. But now we're probably a year and a half if we are going to ever pick up to get to your pace. When you ask if it's a seller's or buyer's market, I always tell people that when you look at stats, it looks like it should be, in theory, a seller's market because our inventory is extremely low. We're under 3,000. We're at 4,800 listings, but that's condos, single family, everything. I update every week about single family market on my YouTube channel, and we are under 2,800 listings. We're under 3, and we have 4,200 realtors in Edmonton. So I just use that as context. We have very low inventory, but the sales aren't there to support a seller's market. Mm-hmm. So it's not a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. I suppose you could call it balanced, but it doesn't feel very balanced.
Yeah. Well, in Calgary, we have very low inventory and high sales. So we are, I think we're definitely in a seller's market. We have, for August, I guess we'll look at August because September's not quite done, but there was 3,200 active listings in the city. And I think in terms of population, our city has grown compared to Edmonton, and number of realtors, we are 7,200 or so realtors. And so that's
almost double of us.
Yeah, double. And then, let's call it the same number of listings roughly, in our sales were nearly equal to the number of active listings that we had in August, 2,700 compared to 3,200 active listings.
3,200 listings new?
3,200 active listings. There was 3,100 new listings and 2,700 sales. So, nearly everything that's hitting the market in August sold.
Look, ours is 4,885, and then new listings is 2,326, and then sales is 1,606.
Right.
So
yeah.
You see the difference in the market.
Melody, what do you know about the in-migration rates to Edmonton?
The migration. I don't know what the actual migration rates are, but I know that there's a lot of Ontario and BC still coming over here. But we are starting to see people, they would prefer Calgary, but now because they can't afford Calgary, they're coming up to Edmonton. Mm-hmm. I do warn people in Edmonton, our market doesn't rise quite as quickly as Toronto, Vancouver, or even Calgary. So I'm seeing people who have moved here, let's say a year or two ago from Toronto. They don't like it. They want to move. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys, your home value isn't as high as you think it is.
Right.
Yeah. What are you seeing for home values? Let's say on the detached side, what is your, let's call it average price on the detached home?
Average price on a detached home, we're looking at $492. That's single family home, right? So $492. Yeah. Last year at the peak, I think we were just over 500. And I saw it drop over the year. So It's still around the same, but there's not as much. Like the hot price point in Edmonton, 350 to 450. You list anything in that price point, it's gone in a heartbeat. As long as it's, of course, not falling apart over price listing, but typically 350 to 450 is moving really fast.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're seeing right now detached benchmark price 696,000 on the detached. So it's a $200,000 spread between these markets.
Big difference.
Pretty national.
Wow.
Yeah. And our price change, we've increased 10% since last year instead of.
Oh, we did not increase. What does it say on my market? It says from last year, our increase is 2.7%. So I always tell people at Edmonton, this is slow and steady Eddie Edmonton. 1% to 2% increase is what you usually see every year. So when people try to say, I'll just wait till next year to sell, it's not going to be worth it to wait that 1% to 2%.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any other economic drivers in Edmonton that you think are maybe holding the market back?
Holding it back?
Or, is there any other economic driver that is not allowing Edmonton to keep up with Calgary's pace, or is Calgary just an anomaly and
I noticed that Calgary also, obviously you guys are different. You are structured different in terms of your demographics, right? You got a lot of head offices. We have a lot of government here.
Right.
We do have a tech sector building here up as well. But I think, I don't know. I mean, you guys have the mountains. We don't have the mountains. And I do think Calgary's more metro, like more similar to the hustle and bustle of like Vancouver, Toronto compared to Edmonton. So I think that at the end of the day, unless that fictitious bullet train ever gets built between, like if that thing gets built, I think we'll be slammed busy because now people can live in Edmonton and just go work in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard about that for how many years? Like, I don't know if that's ever going to happen in our lifetime.
Been a long time coming.
I know. I don't think it's going to happen. The rate our LRT system goes up. Well, that's another thing too. Like, so you guys are more set up for like even transport, your busing system and whatnot. I don't know what the crime rate is like on your busing system, but we're starting to finally like get into the rest of Edmonton so that people can go everywhere. But the big issue right now is the amount of crime that's happening on those things. So it's like, why are you actually bringing crime into the suburban places? So that now there's like this controversy of, do we want accessibility because all the crime is happening on there? So it's a very different market. Like you guys are definitely more, and you have a ton of infill product. Your downtown is actually like a nice downtown core. You don't want to live downtown here. Find the train tracks. It's not really great. Like most of it's apartment living. We don't have a whole like single family homes in the downtown area.
What is happening in the apartment sector in Edmonton? Is it more or less following the trend of the rest of the market, or is it doing anything different? So
I'll just do a disclaimer. I like absolutely despise condos in Edmonton, and everyone that knows me knows because it loses money all the time. It was predicted by our board this year that the condo market was actually supposed to be the only thing that was going to increase this year. And if I look at the stats, I don't see that happening at all. Like it's still decreased year over year and month over month. There's no increases. I think the odds of selling has increased as long as you're not. I had a listing that was beside another construction site, so that didn't sell. But other condos are starting to move, whereas years past, they've just been sitting there. Even if you price it extremely low, no one comes up and buys them. I don't know. What is your guys' average condo fee? Because like here, if you buy a condo for even anywhere from $150 to $250, you're looking at $600 plus a month for condo fees, sometimes $900 a month.
I think that's fairly typical. I don't know.
Well, they've gone up. They've gone up over the last couple of years, obviously, and I presume you've had a similar experience in Edmonton. But I think like we usually on a price per square foot, it's usually a reasonable range is like 60 cents per square foot. Does that sound right, Dan? Sano, is that?
Yeah, I think that's probably right at the low end today
for newer construction before they have their head around the costs and all the increases. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm talking about the old downtown. The old stuff it's high.
I'd like to know if you have a sense of the cap rates in Edmonton. From what I've seen over the years, Edmonton is it seems a bit more attractive oftentimes with rental property. So investors will go to Edmonton and buy rentals, multifamily, because the cap rate's a bit higher up there. Have you got a sense of where that is landing
So
these days?
cap rate, no, not exactly, because I don't specialize in that. But the rental rate that I'm seeing for, let's say, a house is like a full house. They're looking at 2,500. You can get townhouses for 1,800 a month.
Wow.
But with the interest rates, I don't know I suppose it depends on if an investor is buying cash, because if they're buying with the crazy interest rates, it's not going to be worth it.
I think our rental rates have just gone through the roof lately. I think Michael probably rents his basement out for that much. But
For which 2,500?
Ours is fully furnished, but currently we have a renter in there for long-term, 10 months for 2,000 a month, which is
For a basement?
it's fully furnished, and it's only 6 years old, so it's not.
It is nice, but
Is it a walkout?
Not a walkout, no, but it has nice big windows and
Wow.
is brand new throughout.
But really, that just gives you an example of the difference between Calgary and Edmonton rental rates. And so the cap rate in Calgary rentals have, an example last year, Michael, what would you have rented that out for? Probably.
The tenant previous was 18, and then before that, we didn't have it rented at all. We had sort of reoccupied the basement. Before that time period, we only had one renter in, so we gave her a discount because she's only using one room. We had the other room for storage, and we were charging her, I think it was 800 or 900. So prior to that, when it was fully occupied, we were 12 or 13, somewhere in there. So it's been a significant increase in the rental rates. And I think we actually held back a little bit. We've had some other folks inquiring. I think we could have pushed that, but we honestly didn't feel great about asking more than that for the rent.
So I think that might be a key driver. There's a clue there, and I would suggest that we have people are moving to Calgary for a couple of reasons. One of them being lifestyle. I mean, they're moving to Alberta for lifestyle, but Calgary, I'll suggest, has a few more attributes like the mountains. Banff. I was at Banff last weekend. It was absolutely like standing room only. It was ridiculous. It was it's like I've never seen it. So we have that. We have interest in rentals is going up. The rental rates are going up, and so that drives investment and cap rates. So maybe all of that combines to make Calgary a little bit hotter, but Edmonton always does seem to catch up, and they're sort of right behind us.
So I have a comment here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you guys see the comments?
Yeah.
So Calgary is going to be the new Toronto with those rental prices. I actually do think it's moving in that direction, honestly. Like Edmonton, Calgary kind of stayed close together, and then all of a sudden we just parted ways last year. And we did not follow. Yeah,
I would agree with that, because I think we are already the center of the universe.
Because you're in Alberta. You're Alberta's center of the universe, and that's a big debate between Edmonton and Calgary.
Yeah.
So this guy says he's contemplating moving from Brandon, Manitoba to Alberta, hopefully in the near future. I know everyone's talking about Calgary, but I actually like Edmonton better. Yes, Edmonton is better. If you want to own a home that's affordable, I think you have more chances to own a home. And that's why people are moving from Ontario and Vancouver, is because they're trying to get away from the craziness. And Edmonton, we do have some people don't agree with me, but I think that Edmonton has a little bit more of a small town feel compared to Calgary in terms of the.
Yeah, and little known fact, you can grow stuff better in Edmonton. So if you want to grow a vegetable garden, or if you're a gardener, actually Edmonton's a better place to go, because our Chinooks, so on the plus side, we get Chinooks, so it'll be 30 below in Calgary, and then in 2 hours it'll be 10 above, and it's quite refreshing. It's a little slushy and a little messy. You got to wash your car So if you want a good
We do
investment,
get that too now. It's called global warming.
but on the flip side of that, Edmonton doesn't get it, but your climate is warmer, and I know the grow zone is like it's a higher number or a lower number or something, but you grow more stuff in Edmonton than you do in Calgary. Believe it or
We do
not.
have a lot of community gardens, but I'm assuming you guys have that too. I think I've seen them around.
Yeah, we do.
Can you
We
guys
do.
have chickens in your backyard?
Chickens? I don't think you can in the city.
It's a thing that the cities are agreed to. Like you're allowed to have chickens in the
I
city.
believe you can. I believe you
Can you?
can. Yeah,
Really?
in fact, we used to in Bridgeland in the old days, but you can't have a rooster, and we had a rooster. That was a problem.
Nobody likes roosters. They don't even know what time of day it is. Like they roost all day long.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's another question in there, Melody, about what the rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in or around Edmonton would be. Do you have a sense of that, or is that?
No, I always tell people, because as realtors, I know here in Edmonton, I don't know about Calgary, but we don't help people find rentals because we don't get paid them. So then I usually refer them to Rent Faster or Facebook Marketplace. Those are the two places that people primarily go to for rentals. I know it's hard to find rentals. That I know. That's in Edmonton. It's very difficult to find a place. I think especially once the rates went up, it was extremely hard to find people who got scared. They were on the cusp of buying a house. They kind of thought, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to enter anymore. And because it's a big difference in what you can buy, right? From 2% to 6%.
Huge.
The buying power has changed.
yeah.
While we have you, Melody, and now that you've in the first part of our live stream here, you went through and talked about all the things that Calgary has over Edmonton. What do you think Edmonton has over Calgary? What are the compelling reasons to move to Edmonton aside from affordability?
So, I love you guys, but I think the people are friendlier here.
Right?
Like when you walk on that, like when I came with my family and in Calgary, we were walking down the path, no one looks at you. They do the Vancouver thing where they're like, oh, I gotta look at my phone, or like they don't want to make eye contact. In Edmonton, everybody smiles at you, everyone nods at you and acknowledges you on like at the River Valley. And River Valley is the other one. Like I know you have the Bow Valley or whatever, Bow River. But the Edmonton River Valley is phenomenal. It's so huge, the trail system. So if you like riding bikes or being outdoors, like it's all connected. Our family floated on it this summer. So I really like that. Other things about it is I think the primary thing is I don't know what I didn't raise a family in Edmonton or Calgary, so I don't know what it's like to raise kids in Calgary. But I know in Edmonton, there's a lot of stuff for the kids to do, a lot of playgrounds, lots of spray, everything for families. And I'm assuming Calgary's similar, but you guys are like urban sprawl. And Edmonton is a little less sore on, like you don't have that eyesore when you kind of drive into Edmonton.
I'll have to agree with that. Yeah. Point to Melody for Edmonton.
Yay.
I have to jump off the call to attend the meeting, we're also going to be in Edmonton tomorrow, aren't we, Mike? For a real event, not a real event, but a career day.
Area career day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in that, where's it at? Is that a hotel?
The Fantasyland Hotel?
Doubletree, Hilton Doubletree. I think it might be. Yeah.
Well, that's West End.
Yeah.
Doubletree. Yeah.
If anyone's new to the industry and wants to stop in, we'll be there. And sorry to jump off early, but great to see you, Melody.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
All right, bye for now.
Yeah, great. Well, that's probably a good cue to start to wrap up here ourselves. But I just wanted to come back to a couple comments about moving to Calgary versus Edmonton. If you're coming from a place like Manitoba, or I guess anywhere from out east, I think we're seeing this flight to affordability, and that's where Alberta's seen a lot of people moving from other provinces. But even Calgary versus Edmonton's more affordable, and people are looking to move to those places where it's just more affordable to live. So you can't fault them for that, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton is better. Says Edmonton is better.
Yeah.
How hard is it to become a realtor and house money? Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother conversation. You want to be a realtor, maybe start in Calgary, because Edmonton's market now, because it's so challenging, things don't just sell the minute they pop up. You have to know what you're doing. And so you have to grind. It's back to like people don't want to hire someone that's inexperienced that's just going to try to get in on the money. But what was it here? This guy also says he is near Toronto and bought a rental property in Edmonton with long-term plan to keep or possibly move here. So if you play the long game in Edmonton, it's fine. But if you come and buy a house and hope to flip it, you might have a better chance in Calgary, because how's your flipping market in Calgary?
It's
Right now,
strong. You know, there's a house on my street that's coming to market this weekend, 250,000 more than it sold for 5 years ago.
So we haven't seen that kind of, we saw the crazy number last year, but this year the numbers have readjusted. You can't get the price you got last year anymore. You could get the price you got last year at this time, but not at the beginning half of the year.
Yeah, and I would caution anybody that's buying in our market, expecting that we're going to see, you know, we're at a record-breaking pace right now. If you expect it's going to continue and you're going to capitalize on that next year, I wish you luck. But it's, you know, that crystal ball is not that, it doesn't tell that tale, I don't think.
Because you've been going up every single year for the last few years, right? You haven't.
Last 2 years been pretty steady, but it seems unsustainable, I think, is maybe Dan's point. I don't know if we could continue to do this and still have a city where people can afford to live.
Well, you'll become Toronto. A
little bit, as much as I am loath to say it. Yeah, it feels that way. And I mean, just to go back to the random Europeans, sorry, who was asking about becoming a realtor?
Random European.
Yeah,
right. I mean, in Calgary, it is, if you're established and you have listings, it's pretty good right now. But if you are new and are working with buyers, there are lots of buyers out there, and that's great. The challenge that I think a lot of the newer agents are finding in Calgary is that because things are so quick and the listings are getting snapped up so quickly, and often in competing scenarios, there's not a lot to trade on, and buyers are not having a ton of success. So a new agent coming in that, one, is probably only working with buyers, and two, maybe doesn't have the gauges needed to accurately estimate where you need to be on an offer to be successful. They're not doing deals because they're just not getting them. It really is tricky out here.
We saw that last year here too. Like, they had the buyers, but they couldn't win the multiple offers. They didn't know how to win it, and they're competing with, you know, if you got experienced agents that know other agents that know the deals aren't going to go sideways, they favor that, of course. So
yeah.
Maybe we can do another video. So Random European, if you're watching on my YouTube channel, you'll probably not see it here because this is all for like Edmonton market stats, but I'm sure we can post something with these guys. Do you guys do that kind of content on your channel?
You know, we've started to do a little bit, but we're going to be doing more. So maybe, we'll schedule another one.
Random European, check out, I have a channel called The Canadian Tech Savvy Agent. You'll see stuff on that channel, but this one is all about Edmonton and its funnel market stats, and Edmonton versus Calgary videos do really well on here too. So I'm glad we had a chance to chat today. Yeah. Melody, thanks for making time for it, and really appreciate it. Insights on the market, and for bringing your audience to this as well. So yeah, you're welcome. Very much. Okay. Thanks everyone. Bye. Good luck.